Brilliant, it's recording.
Okay, well, thanks very much for joining us. We're going to talk you through the badges presentation evening, all the Google slides that we've got. And at the end, there's a chance for chat if you'd like to, if there's just a few of us, to open your microphone, or if not, enter it in the chat. Just don't, please keep it personal, nothing about the children, but general questions, feel free to ask us anything and see how we get on. So let us share with you our presentation. And hopefully, can you see that all right?
Yeah, that's come through.
Real, thank you. Okay, so welcome to Badges from Miss Brailsford and me. I'm here on a Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday with the class, and then Miss Brailsford's here on a Thursday and Friday. As you know, because you probably got used to this now, but we've been asked as a reminder to bring it up today. Your children are coming in from the Church Street gate at 9 o'clock. And coming through to the classroom through our fire exit. When they get here, we either spray their hands or they wash their hands, and there are some activities for them to do to be mindful while we're waiting for everybody else. We're having some children come through very early because of younger siblings, and then other children arriving about 9:05. So they come into the classroom, settle down, and at the end of the day, we are trying to get them to the gate at Leonard's Lane by about 3:25 and hand them over to their adult. So that's been up and running so far, and it seems to be going really well. Our daily timetable. So we have English and maths nearly every day. At the moment on a Wednesday, the teachers in lower key stage 2, we have our planning and preparation time in the morning. So in the afternoon, the children have me, and sometimes we do English or maths, or we have a science afternoon or art or another subject on a Wednesday. We have a whole class guided reading, and it says this a bit later, but sometimes we'll do that in the morning as part of the English lesson, or sometimes just after lunch we have a guided reading session just about the guided reading skill. We teach spelling and handwriting. The children are now coming through with the cursive handwriting, so we make sure that that continues and we keep practicing, and we can prove in the handwriting books that they've got that lovely handwriting, because when they get excited and start writing at length and at speed, that goes a bit, but we still keep practicing those skills. So we'll carry that on throughout the year. It says there, so while we're having our planning and preparation time as a team, Miss Bogue Monroe has the children. She has the year 4s and then the year 3s for RE, where she also teaches a lot of the English skills, or reinforces the skills and the spelling that we've been doing in the other areas of the curriculum. And then after that, they have PE with multiflex, hence children coming to school in their PE kits on a Wednesday, and also they wear it on a Thursday because Ms Brailsford has a PE lesson in the afternoon. Every week we are now setting homework electronically, as you will have seen last week on Google Classroom, to be set one week to be completed for the next. We might give individual feedback, we might let the children share it with each other in the class, get it up on the interactive whiteboard, or we might take some of the points that have come up and address them or celebrate good work. So there'll be different ways that we look at that. We're obviously not sending home papers, and we're not asking for paper to be in, and where possible we'll just want them to be able to type it so that it's less printing or any problems for you. So hopefully the children have already accessed the work on Friday, and we'll send probably a maths homework home this week and keep alternating it. We've just covered this, but PE kit, obviously the black kit, and we're particularly keen. PE will be outside as much as possible for the social distancing and the space. So it's important in winter if we can just keep the children in trainers or pumps, and they've got their tracksuit bottoms and jumpers, school tracksuit bottoms, and jumpers from school, or the black ones that they're wearing, and they'll be outside as much as possible. So we just need to make sure shorts, if they're happy in shorts in the winter, fine, but if not, that they're fully covered for the rest of the day.
Very cold.
So thanks for your cooperation with that, because that's been working really well. The children have been remembering that, and it's also quite comfy, isn't it, for 2 days in the PE kit. So PSHE, obviously, with everything that's happened, our main focus for this half term, but going forward, and it has been our focus in school for a while now, is supporting the children's mental well-being. We are doing everything we can to settle them back in. Worry boxes so they can talk about things, lots of questions, lots of mindfulness, lots of understanding our feelings, lots of just stopping and taking a minute and talking or thinking. And so there's a lot of that going on in school at the moment. We're also working hard to settle them in with the curriculum and fill in any gaps and move them forward. But we are taking regular intervals throughout the day to give the children time to think, to talk, and just to adjust. And they've been working really well at that, haven't they?
Yeah, even just being active when they've been sitting for a long time, just to do something for 2 minutes, it really helps.
Yeah. So they should be starting to come home talking through some of the strategies. You've been doing breathing strategies, haven't you?
We have.
The senses, just noticing what they can hear, or noticing the moment they feel a smell, or some of the go noodle activities, or just
get their heart as well, and how to take care of themselves. And
so it's really important, isn't it, at the moment? And we are spending more time than we used to, although we've always talked about mental health and well-being to help them at the time. And they've been doing fantastically, haven't they? So this year, as Wincham has been now for the past 2 years, we're carrying on with the themed approach, so that everything, where possible, is linked. It's a little bit different for the first 2 or 3 weeks of this half term, but then you'll see that the children are broadly talking about a topic called Digging It, which links to our English, which is the dragon machine. So it links to our history and our geography, about the Vikings and Anglo-Saxons, and then they'll look at countries in Europe. So all the links, which means we can use language in English, because vocabulary and getting vocabulary across the curriculum is really important. That goes into the history and the geography and science and all subjects that the children see. It's all joined up, and at the end of each topic they will aim to produce a work that brings in all the elements to show the skills across the curriculum. And it's really so children understand that maths isn't just maths, and English isn't just in English lessons, and how skills in life will all complement each other. So we've continued with that. However, just for the next couple of weeks, and we've already started this as a settled back in project, we've been working on some diversity topics, and we have been reading Counting on Catherine and Hidden Figures in guided reading. So we're doing lots of work about Black history and celebrating women pioneers, lots of social understanding and history, all tying in with what's going on in society at the moment. And the children have been incredible. They are very thoughtful and understanding, aren't they, with the topic that's being discussed. And obviously as a school, we have the no outsiders mark, so we recognise that nobody's equal, but everybody should be treated the same. And we link it with democracy and the values in our country, how we cannot discriminate against anybody. So we talk about no outsiders, our values, democracy, and it's been a lovely start back, and the children are already producing some brilliant work and learning about the changes over in the past and the current situation. So we've started writing and reading about that, and then in the next couple of weeks we'll move on to the dragon machine. And again, just to reiterate, it's all linked together. So we have Loch Ness, so we have Scotland and Vikings. We'll look at Stephen Brown and his art, and they'll have a go at some of that themselves. They'll do some design technology linking with artifacts. We'll look at one of the music units called the Dragon Song, and we're just at the moment arranging, hopefully, music to your ears, brass music lessons. Now we just have to get this in place. It's provided free of charge for the children by Essential. They get 10 weeks with a specialist brass music tutor. They will be given an instrument, and they can take that instrument home every week to practice what they've been learning. And if we we can fix it safely with everything, we will try to put on a socially distant concert if it's appropriate after the 10 weeks, so you can see how much the children have learned. So that's probably going to be in the spring or summer term, because with everything that's going on, we just need to make sure we've set it up and it's all safe to do. But it's exciting, and as a 3-4 class, we will be doing that this year alongside the year 4 class. And then the other year 3 class have a go at that next year. So we alternate. So this year it will be the whole of the 3-4 class that work with the year 4 class or the 4 class as well. Where we can, we try to link our science with the theme. It's not always exactly possible, but at the moment we're looking at the human body, the digestive system. Hopefully the children will have already told you about teeth. I've heard that it's been mentioned at the dentist. Nutrition, skeletons and muscles, and obviously if we're writing in science, we bring in our English and our maths. So for example, today we've been doing pictograms and bar charts and designing our own tally charts. So we're using all the skills from other areas in our science as well. English has been a huge focus at Wincham for the past few years, and it continues to be. We've got a great class that are taking on really good in-depth challenges, and we're expecting the highest standards, different perspectives of writing and writing across the curriculum. And as you will be aware, we celebrate Writer of the Week every Friday. Reading, again, we have our special guided reading lessons where we focus on the skills to involved in guided reading, which is a life skill to be able to read literature and understand what's happening and what's being said. We also do that in the morning. We are upping. I know the children that have come through from infants now are very used to book club. It's still a little bit new up in upper key stage 2, but we're really going to work on book club now. We're setting that up, and we'll get going with that over the next few weeks, and the quizzes. We've set the children onto auto progress, so that should allow them to move through the stages at their pace. And we're going to be giving a reading award. It says just at the bottom, a star reader each week, which we'll base at the moment on book club, quizzes and books read to celebrate that. We are also sending children home, and hopefully again by the end of next week we'll have heard them all read once a book from the library or here that haven't been touched. And when children bring them back in, we put them aside for the right amount of times before they could be chosen again. So we are also encouraging them to read their own books, and obviously books at home, books you might read to them. The more books the merrier. Whatever works for the children, we will celebrate their reading and the style, the way they choose. Spelling, again, will continue to drive up standards. There's just the literature there that says exactly what will be asked in year 3 and 4. We put a lot of effort into spelling, have special lessons, and also the government have produced a list of year 3 and 4 statutory spelling words where it might be irregular or they might have certain rules that we have in our English book, and we aim to get them into their writing as often as possible. So there'll be a lot of time spent correcting spellings, improving spellings, and also revising spellings. We use a new scheme of work. It's called No Nonsense. So you probably have noticed over the past few years, if you've had older children in the school, we don't send home spelling lists to learn anymore. What we were finding was children could learn the spelling for that list and for that test, but it wasn't being transferred into their books. So we're working really hard on having a working wall, spellings in their books, so that they use it as a reference. We want them to be checking the spellings and using dictionaries, and we'll get more into that as the year goes on, and using the resources that they have so that they'll be more familiar with them. So we don't test children on the words as such, but we will look at the focus each week and then try to get that type of spelling into as many areas as we can. And again, we really hope that by the end of year 4 we send them on their way solid in the year 3-4 words, and then they meet the 5-6 words as they get up to upper key stage 2. Strategies are just, for example, some of the strategies that we learn on. You can see there you've got monarchy, so we look at drawing pictures so that they can remember the picture with the letters and what's in the place. The spelling pyramid, we have quick write, we draw them, we play games with them. So we engage with the spellings instead of sending you home a list to learn with them and come back in. So it's becoming part of everything, and spelling matters in science, in geography, in history, and not just in their spelling book. And we have seen an improvement in that over the past few years. Year fours will be familiar with this, but we have a subscription to Timetable Rockstars, so the children can get on and have an avatar and earn coins, and that they can then buy things for their avatar. So they like that side of things. And when we get onto the multiplication section in maths, we will start setting weekly or even daily battles on certain times tables. So we might give them a week of 8s or 12s. At the moment, it's set on I think it's called training. So it sets the children off on the 2s, and it has an algorithm which it's monitoring their progress. So if a child really struggles with 2 times 12, that will come up again and again till they've got it, or it notices how long it takes them, so it will keep bombarding them with that question. And when it thinks that they're at a level and they're understanding the division facts as well, it moves them on to the next times table. But do speak to us if you're concerned about that, or if for any reason you think that's not at the right level for them. We can set individual tables, and if they're really interested in one week, we can set that for them. But when we get to that unit in maths, we will really be hammering the times table rock stars. Year fours, last year there was supposed to be a new times table test set by the government. Obviously that didn't go ahead, and we're assuming that it will go ahead this year, but we don't know for sure. But so year fours will be tested on their knowledge of the multiplication, not division, although that's important, the multiplication facts at the end of the year. Homework, reading. We love reading just to carry on. We have a book recommendation of the week. We'll be giving prizes, do random book picks where we see if the book's been signed, talk to the children about their books, ask for book reviews. We want reading to be part of the discussion, so we'll be rewarding reading, and please read as often as possible. Spelling Shed will be coming soon if you haven't already got a login, but it's online learning. There's games, there's activities, you can set different spelling rules. If we see in class, like we've looked at today, that we're struggling a bit with a soft C and an S and a hard C, we can set rules to practice on that. So there'll be a login coming home for Spelling Shed, which we trialed last year with some of the year fours and year threes, and they enjoyed it. Times tables at the moment, as often as you like, no stress, because we're not at that stage in maths yet, and we're just settling in, but some children love to get going on it and want to try it, so that's fine. And then every Friday we'll set a maths or an English activity on Google Classrooms, and like I said, we'll get different levels of feedback, whole class feedback, individual feedback, or we'll get them to share their work. So any problems with logins and book club or anything like that, please send us an email to badgers@winchamcp.cheshire.sch.uk, and we try to check that by about 8 o'clock every day, so we know what to do, and we'll generally won't reply if we don't need to reply, if you're just telling us something. But if there's something like a login or something that we need to address, we'll get back to you either via email or a phone call. So please keep in touch with us if you need anything. I think most of you are already connected to Class Dojo, but we've been giving out lots of dojos, really celebrating the children's. We've set up our own as well, Mrs. Miller's and Ms. Brailsford's. Really impressed us as well, and so we try and hand those out as often as we can, which is lovely, and they enjoy getting those. So that's whole school reward, and we carry that on. And most of you do have the app. If one or two of you haven't, and there's any problems in accepting the invitation, please get in touch with the office and they'll be able to sort that out for you. And then again, this is the slide that everybody has across the school, but if you think you're entitled to pupil premium funding or free school meals, please have a look at the criteria, and if you think you're entitled to it, please get in touch with school or apply for it yourself, so that school can get extra resources to support your child. So just make sure that if you're entitled to that, that you're getting that support. The school spider app, just another slide for the whole school with some of the messages. I was looking at this at the weekend, some of the dates for the upcoming events. So again, if you haven't got that, please get in touch with school and set that up. And just to finish off, I think we've just got some final websites for you to have a look at. If you want any extra resources, the grammar glossary for the school run is quite a good one. When we send them home asking for subordinate clauses and fronted adverbials and prepositions, it explains it quite clearly. Even though we wouldn't send something home we haven't covered in class quite significantly and taught, even if you think otherwise, please have a look at that if you need it. Hit the button. They have some free games on topmarks.co.uk. It's a bit different to timetable Rockstars, so it presents it in a different way. And also, just to encourage reading, there are books for topics for year 3 and year 4. So that's the end of our presentation for now. If you have any questions that you would like to ask us, if you'd like to put them in the chat, or there's only 3 of us by looks of it, so if you want to unmute and just ask us your questions, please feel free. If not, thank you for listening to us. So anyone got any questions?
Yes, please.
Hiya.
I just wanted to ask about the book club. Historically, we've had various issues with it due to the devices we've got at home. So how compulsory is book club?
Book club is there for extra reading if you can access it. If you have got a good reader who you and we are happy with paper books, and some children in the school don't respond well to it, then if you are happy with what you've got, we've got plenty of books in the library or reading books from home, that's absolutely fine. We'll celebrate the reading that's in the diary, as I've seen the diary, and that's fine. So just whatever suits you, please don't worry about it.
Brilliant, thank you.
Okay, anyone else?
Thomas's dad?
No, nothing from me. That was a very useful presentation. Thank you.
And we've got Melissa's parents. Any questions?
No, we're all good, thank you.
All right, well, the presentation and this is going online, but if there's any questions, there's badges at winchamcp.cheshire.sch.uk. Please email us. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. But it's been a joy, hasn't it, to teach your children?
Lovely,
it's
really good.
Lovely to meet them, and we're really enjoying it. So just please keep in touch, and any problem, please just get straight in touch with us. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Bye.
Cheers. Take care.
Bye.